Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Arizona Backyard Naturalist. I'm your host, Jenny Ushry, an Arizona Master Naturalist intern from the South Mountain chapter, living on the foothills of South Mountain in suburban Phoenix, Arizona. Every week I take a look to see what's happening in my own backyard and give tips and tricks to help other backyard naturalists in the Sonoran Desert identify and learn more about the local environment. This week's episode of Backyard Naturalist is a bird episode! Our bird of the week is the house sparrow, Passer domesticus in Latin. This is the #1 most common bird I see in my backyard. I can look out into my yard at almost any point in the day, from before sunrise to about sunset, and boom, there's a house sparrow. You can probably do the same in your own neighborhood. These little birds are everywhere. In fact, the Audubon Society says that these are one of the most abundant songbirds in the entire world. They are tough, they are adaptable, and they are really excellent at living in and among humans. In fact, you're much more likely to see a house sparrow in the city or in the suburbs than you are out in the open desert. House sparrows are a small bird, 5 or 6 inches long when fully grown, and they're sexually dimorphic. That means that male birds and female birds are visibly different. In house sparrows, the male, especially a breeding male, has more robust coloring, as you can see over here. Gray crown, kind of reddish head area, a white cheek, and this black neck bib. Female birds are more drab. Their coloring is mostly brownish gray. They do have similar markings, but the coloring is very drab. Both male and female house sparrows have a lighter collar around their neck. This is one easy way to identify them when they're kind of flitting around your backyard. House sparrows are actually indigenous to Eurasia and northern Africa. They were introduced to North America around 1851 in small batches in Brooklyn, New York. There was an original release of 8 breeding pairs in 1851, and then another release of about 100 birds in 1852. And there are varying reports as to why these birds were brought to the United States, but in the early 1850s, industrialization and the resulting destruction of natural habitat on Manhattan had really picked up. So some folks theorize that these birds, which eat insects as well as seeds and grain, were introduced to fill a need in an ecosystem that was kind of out of whack. So one thing that you should know about house sparrows is that they are actually huge jerks. They are very aggressive in defending their nests, grabbing food, and particularly with other birds. This aggressive behavior has been observed in their interactions with over 70 different species. In areas where habitat is scarce, they're known to chase native birds out of their nests and take them over. If you have ever dropped some popcorn in a park and watched a bunch of birds fight over it, the winner was probably a house sparrow. A much more endearing fact about the house sparrows is that they take dust baths. This behavior is both adorable and really useful for the bird. So what they do is they shake the dust, the finer the dust the better, down into their feathers and down into the skin if they can, where it basically functions like a nice dry shampoo. The dust absorbs oil and all the other gunk that's in the bird's feathers, and then that can more easily be preened out. If you want to encourage house sparrows in your backyard, frankly, you don't have to do anything. They're probably already there. If you want to put out a bird feeder for them, they prefer bird seed, particularly millet and sunflower seeds, but they will also eat weed or grass seeds from your yard, insects, any crumbs that you spill or leave on a table for more than 3 seconds. This spring I put a really deep layer of mulch in my backyard, which meant that I had increased insect activity for a few weeks. And the house sparrows very quickly figured out that my yard was a great place to grab a snack. There were about 3 weeks when the weather was really beautiful and these birds were constantly on the hunt in my backyard. I hope that as you get outside this week, or even just look outside this week, you'll start to notice these little sparrows and how common they are. For more information on the house sparrow, you can visit any of the sites. I put them down below in the box with links. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Arizona Backyard Naturalist.